Welcome to 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech. I'm Seal DeGuglielmo, and along with Susan Woodcock and Jonathan Bennett, we will be bringing you this Workroom Education podcast each month. 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech is sponsored by Workroom Tech in Richmond, Virginia, and you can learn about their hands-on classes by visiting workroomtech.com. Good morning, Susan. How are you?
Good morning, Seal. It's good to see you for another episode of the 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech podcast. And today, Jonathan Bennett is joining us.
Hello, everybody.
Happy to see you, Jonathan.
And Jonathan is the new owner of Workroom Tech. And so we thought it'd be good to jump on the podcast today and use this platform to sort of share what's happening, where we are in the move and the sale. And Jonathan described it as it's sort of like a theater production, and we need an intermission so that we can change the set.
Perfect.
Freshen up the actors, sweep up the stage and get restarted for the second half of the future of Workroom Tech.
I love that analogy. I think that's perfect.
So, Seal, I'm sure you have a lot of questions, and I might have a few questions for Jonathan. Jonathan might have a few questions for me.
I definitely have a lot of questions. And part of this for me, watching the two of you get to the decision, I didn't know about it until the decision was made, but then getting to speak with both of you about it and seeing how both of you have responded to different things. But I guess my first question is, what has been the response from people once we made the announcement here on the 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech podcast and then on social media? Susan, let's start with you. What has been the response to you?
I've only heard positive responses. And it's not even a negative. It's just people saying, "Oh, I just love Tryon, North Carolina, and I like to visit." And I'm like, "Well, come visit anytime."
Yeah, please do.
Tryon's still here. We're still here, and Tryon, North Carolina would love to have tourists come and visit. So that's really the only. And in fact, I think I could not have picked a better person because people love Jonathan, and
Yes.
they're just so happy that Jonathan is the new owner of the school. It's just so positive.
That's fantastic. And I agree with you. We'll talk about him like he's not here for a moment. Jonathan, what about for you? How have people responded to you when they heard the news?
I mean, exactly the same as with Susan. It's been nothing but positive. And people are excited about the new location and all the things to come. And they're just excited about it because, sometimes change is good.
Right.
And, Susan's right. Tryon will be there forever. And it's a wonderful place to visit. And they can still visit down there, go stay at the Green Life Inn, all that. But Richmond has a lot of things going on for it. So we're going to do it.
Fantastic.
One of the things about Richmond, too, is it's my hometown. So I'm very happy that the school's in Richmond because when I go back and visit my family, I can drop in and see how things are going. Unannounced.
Jonathan, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Right.
So I'm thrilled that it's been positive. I think, Jonathan, as you said, change can be good, but that doesn't mean that people are always ready for change, or people think that something will be there forever and then it isn't, or it isn't where they thought it would be. And that's the good news, is Workroom Tech isn't disappearing. It's continuing, and that's fantastic. And for anybody who's thinking, "Oh, darn, I wanted to go to Tryon for a class," you can still take classes. And that's, as the owners, Susan, you and Roger could have said, "Okay, we're done." And because this is still work and you're not going anywhere, you're not disappearing. So I'm curious, where are we right now? What's the latest? I follow you on social media this weekend, so I have a bit of an idea about what happened this weekend. But why don't you guys share with us what happened? Jonathan, what was your weekend like?
Well, we drove from Richmond to Tryon, and it took us about 6.5 hours. And we went for dinner and with Roger and Susan and Lori, and we had a great time. And we got up early yesterday, or no, Saturday, and loaded that truck up with everything, and then hit the road back.
Okay.
And it was a lot, but it's the beginning. It's a new beginning.
Okay. And for any of you who are not in the eastern seaboard of the United States, it was a heat wave these past couple days, like
Oh,
just
yeah,
unbearable heat. So you said you got started first thing in the morning?
Yeah.
yeah. But that
Okay.
kind of didn't matter because it was still hot, but
Yeah.
we got it done.
It's
We
it's
had
all
the
relative. It was less hot than it was going to be.
everything was loaded, I'd say within in an hour.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
how did that
Had
feel,
everything packed
Susan?
up and I mean, it was just sort of they had to figure out how to fit it in the machines first and then
Mhm.
slide things like under the machines and what could go on top of the machines and um it was like a jigsaw puzzle, but it all
hmm,
fit. And
yeah.
they pulled the door closed and drove away.
And what did that feel like?
Oh my gosh. I've been so happy about this that I'm still happy about this. But I like hugged Roger when they drove away and I was like almost cried. But I
Yeah.
didn't. I was like,
Yeah.
I could let myself cry. Um, but it's such a positive change.
Hmm.
It's not anything to be sad about. It would just be I'd probably cry because I was so tired. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired. But we had a great Sunday, took Sunday off and went for a drive and relaxed. And while Jonathan was back in Richmond unloading the van.
So I understand like that was emotional because literally the last 9 years worth of work were packed up and drove away from you.
Hmm.
But I'm also wondering, I know that we spoke about how you chose Jonathan for this and that you had been on the lookout, but did you plan from the very start to sell the school? Was this a more recent decision? I always ask on my other podcast, did you have a business plan? Did you have a retirement plan for this?
Well, I always thought that it would be sold when we
Okay.
started it. Part of that was I've always been self-employed, except for a very brief period. Um, and my workroom has always been so about me, right? It's like my skills, designers want to work with me. And I wanted to build something that wasn't necessarily about me, the bigger
Okay.
and a place, an opportunity for other people to teach and become educators and people to learn. And that doesn't have to be me. I've always, considered that it would be sold, and I just didn't know who that person would be. So
Okay.
several years ago, when Jonathan sort of planted the seed, and then a year went by and we talked about it again, and then a year went by and now he's the owner. So it wasn't something that happened overnight,
Right.
but his interest and he took advantage of the opportunity.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
how you grow. And whenever I look back at accomplishments I've had, I was like, I took advantage of. I said yes. I took advantage of an opportunity, and he
Yeah.
did that, and he stuck with it, and it's all very exciting.
Susan, I think that's one of those things that's not been the easiest lesson for me to learn, but I've seen it more with other people. And I especially see it when someone calls someone else lucky. And I
Mm.
think, oh, but all of the things that went into place to put that luck in front of them, and
Yeah.
then they grasped that opportunity. So lucky is a relative term, and it's when I use it, I don't think I mean it the same way other people do, because I don't think luck just falls into people's laps. I think that the fact that you built the school not based on yourself,
Mm.
you created circumstances for other teachers to teach. And so therefore it became, I think, I know you're not necessarily comfortable with this, but so many people look at you and say, "Oh, Susan knows how to do this, and Susan can teach this." Yes, you probably could have taught every one of the classes, but by giving other people the opportunity, it also made it more available to other people. And by approaching people, and I remember you telling me this years ago when Margie Nance reached out to you about teaching, and you didn't know who she was or what the teaching was about. And you said yes. And you gave that same opportunity to people. So I think that's incredible that that was the way you went into this, because you really could have made it about you and what will Susan teach next. And you taught lots of things, but you also helped other people to become teachers. And I think that's really important.
Thank you. And what's really rewarding is some of the students that have come through in the past 9 years are now teachers.
I love that. I
I just
love that.
so much.
So, is there anything that you hope Jonathan can do that you weren't able to do?
Hmm. I think Jonathan being in a larger city, he'll have more opportunities for like programs that are maybe once a week, for people that live that can drive in, um,
Okay.
that could do like a weekend class and come once a week for some, series of weeks, or to
Okay.
do apprenticeship programs, things that our small population here in Tryon, we have 1,600 people in our town, and most of them are retired. We really don't have an opportunity to help make a difference in the community for people seeking a career.
Okay.
And this is an amazing career to be in the upholstery and drapery trades. And I think Jonathan, and we're talking about him, like he's not here, he's here.
Oh yeah.
Jonathan can push that forward, that whole trade aspect. And that's important to me. And I'm very excited to see what he can do with that.
Okay. And you and I had talked about the fact that there does come a certain point where I'm older than you are, I'm older than both of you, where you're just sort of like, I'm not sure I want to do that anymore. I'm not sure I have the energy to continue to do blank.
Hmm.
I don't, we're not ready to walk away, but there's a certain amount of time and energy that's required to do certain things. And just physically, some of it I'm just not that willing to do anymore. So I can relate to that part of it, but I love that in part of letting go, you're also excited to see what Jonathan's going to do with it.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that's great. So I know there is one burning question for you, Susan. Will you still be teaching?
Yes, I'll be teaching for Workroom Tech,
Okay.
through Workroom Tech. So I don't know. See if Jonathan can put me on the schedule. And we've talked
Oh,
about
you'll
some
be.
classes for me to teach, probably starting out with Roman shade class,
Okay.
and some of the online classes. So yes, I'll still be teaching, but
Fantastic.
just I won't be holding classes here.
Okay. Okay. So now we're going to switch to you, Jonathan.
Oh boy.
How did the actual move go? Like you got that truck loaded up and took off. Susan almost tearfully waved goodbye, but then it was all on you. What happened next?
Well, it was pretty straightforward. We drove it on back, and then we decided to wait till yesterday morning to unload the truck.
Okay.
Um, we're lucky here because we have a loading dock, like a
Right.
ramp thing, and then we have a big old flat cart, and so we just put each machine off on the flat cart and rolled it around where it needs to go and put them off in the space. And I hate to say it, but it was faster unloading than it was loading. I don't know why.
Well, that makes sense though, because as Susan said, it was like a puzzle. You had to make things fit
Oh yeah.
into a smaller space than it was going to end up.
Oh yeah. But we got it, and I think it took us maybe 30 minutes. And then we
Okay.
took the U-Haul back, and I went home and took a nap.
I bet you did. So, since this is an intermission, what's going on behind the curtains right now? While we know you're set up, we know this is a brand new building for your entire business, but now
Mhm.
you've added to your business. So what's going on behind the black velvet curtain?
Well, basically, when we rented this space, the warehouse that everyone will see at some point soon, it's sort of because of the columns in the middle, it's sort of divided into three chunks.
Okay.
And workroom tech will have the chunk furthest away from the roll-up door, which
Okay.
is the whole length of the warehouse, front to back. And it's very much akin to workroom tech and Tryon. Um, we have the new cutting tables built. We're going to be upholstering the tops tomorrow. And once we get those done and clear out some debris from the move a couple months ago,
Hmm.
we'll be able to get everything placed where we think we want it. Um, because we have a class that starts on this Friday at 9 o'clock.
Oh
And
my
so
goodness. Okay.
on a time
Short
frame like
intermission.
yeah, short intermission, nobody's got time for popcorn right now, but yeah,
Okay.
but we get it all straight and pictures will be forthcoming when I feel comfortable showing the world what it looks like back there.
Okay. And I did get to see the space before you moved anything in, which was really fun and exciting to be able to see that. You had a pretty good vision of where things were going to go in the space. Now that there are physical objects in there, is it all fitting the way you thought it would?
For the most part, I mean, I did our sewing department. I mapped it out on the floor with chalk and measurements and all that stuff. We put it together when we moved, and we worked there for about a month, and it was
Okay.
horrible. And so we had to move it around again. But I feel like right now we're probably good.
Okay.
Um, I'm not one of those visionaries that can go into a space and say, okay, this is where everything is going. It has to just kind of go where I think, and then we judge accordingly.
Yeah. I can appreciate that. It's interesting that we all have had to work with math in our careers and numbers, and yet sometimes we think things are going to work a certain way, and they don't always.
No, they don't. And
Okay.
I'll be the first one to tell you when I was in high school, a long time ago, I had to take, I called it checkbook math. It was the most basic math that they offered at that point. I had to take it twice, but I can measure now. I'm good with applied math.
And measuring and spatial planning are not necessarily math. So those are
No,
skills we can be good at without being good at math.
exactly.
So I'm curious, Jonathan, about what impact has this decision to buy Workroom Tech and move to a larger space? How has it affected Unsprung Upholstery and the people who are already working for you?
Well, when we really started talking about that we were going to be, when we first started looking to move, I pulled everybody in and we had a big old group meeting. And I just let everybody know what the plan was and then
Okay.
what was potentially coming. And everyone is so excited about it. Um, I have already made use of Glenn, my master upholsterer,
Mhm.
and Mimi, who does upholstery and slipcovers. Last week or week before, whenever that was, we did the second chair affair that we've done so far. And I put those two in charge of it. They're
Okay.
very excited to do something different than just hands on day to day.
Okay.
They did a wonderful job. I can't even begin to tell you. And all the students were very happy with the accomplishments. So I'm going to be using those two folks a lot as we go forward for upholstery and slipcover things because they are so well versed and they're standing here in the building. And it just
Okay.
gives them something, a different, lane to be in for a minute.
Yeah.
Um, but everybody's on board and excited about it. And, what can we do to help? And it was just a wonderful thing.
Okay. I would love to know, Jonathan, the three of us have had a conversation before about what all this means, but I would love to know what your vision for the future of classes and any other hopes you have for Workroom Tech. The um, spread of classes and the types of classes has changed a bit since Susan first started, but where do you see everything going?
Well, I want to keep things somewhat similar to what Susan has always done. We're going to have some of the same classes. We'll add more to them. We'll probably have more. upholstery and slipcover classes, since those are my
Mhm.
favorite things. But we're just going to do that and more. And if we can figure out the schedule, which is sort of like a shell game, I would like to have classes, running 6 days a week if possible. Bring in some of the same educators. I reached out to many of them already, and round up some additional ones to do things, and just have even more and different. I mean, we're thinking about doing headboards soon, and maybe a whole deal with slip seats. And I'm looking maybe having a big leather hoorang, find somebody that's really great with leather and do a little leather thing. And um, I don't know, we're just going to add as much to it as we possibly can. And on that note, if anyone out there listening to the podcast today has an idea of things that they would like to learn about, please email it to the Workroom Tech email address, because this is not about me. This is about what people want to learn about. And I could stand up and preach till the cows come home about things, but if it's not the things people want to learn about, what good is it? So if there's things that people want to learn about, just email us. And if we can possibly work it in to an existing class or an additional class and make it into something, we absolutely will.
I think that's a great idea. And the fact that people can reach out and say, this is something I'm anxious to learn about. It's also how people become teachers. When they want to learn something, they do some research. And I think
Yes.
that's fantastic. So I love that the legacy going forward is that you are finding other people and stretching them and their skills to include teaching and encouraging. I loved seeing the photos from the chair fair and seeing people trying something for the first time. I remember when I really was first getting interested in this, there was a local upholsterer who was holding classes, and I had stopped in to inquire about taking a class, and a customer came in and said, "Why would you teach other people to do what you do?" And the upholsterer smiled at her and said, because not everyone is going to make a business out of this. Some people
Mhm.
are looking for a way to expand their skills and creativity, but other people are going to find that this is what they want to do. And he said, and I'm looking for those people. And I mean, this was a long time ago. So the upholstery industry as a whole was not as open about teaching one another. So I just remember being dumbfounded that this was the attitude that this gentleman had. And I kept thinking, oh, I hope that continues. And here we are. And that
Mhm.
to me is so important.
Well, the truth of the matter is, if anybody thinks for a minute they're going to go anywhere, here, anywhere, and take a 3-day upholstery class and take that and turn that into a business the next week, they better think again, because upholstery is so vast,
Yes.
and it takes a really long time doing it underneath someone that knows what they're doing
Hmm.
to become efficient at anything. So that's not a concern to me. My concern is that people want to learn how to do things for themselves or add it to their business existing already, then come on, let's do this.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take what I know to the dirt. I say it a lot. I don't want to do that. My people don't want to do that. So let's just go get on in here and do a big old group hug and learn something.
Yeah.
Steele, when you asked earlier about what did I hope that Jonathan would do that I was unable to do, upholstery is one of those things. And we had some upholstery classes over the years. We learned early on that the reupholstery classes did not fit well in our space
Okay.
because we're not set up as an upholstery workroom, and it's filthy.
It is my hat off to every upholsterer out there.
Even though it's like you have to tear down before you bring the chair. Well, there's always something, and so we switched and would only do something new, like building an ottoman frame, new or something like that, or cushions and stuff like that. So with Jonathan's expertise, with his team there, with his focus on upholstery, There really is a need for a dedicated school for upholstery.
Hmm.
And there's lots of people that teach in their workrooms as a side hustle. But Workroom Tech is the only trade school in the United States for soft furnishings, and it'd be great to have upholstery as part of that too.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So I'm going to ask you each a question.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You asked me to ask my guest this a long time ago, Susan. Susan, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Oh boy, I'll be knocking the door of 70 in 5 years, and I hope I'm somewhat retired and still contributing in some way.
Mhm.
Um, And if I look at my siblings, who are all older than me, they're all still working. um, so that might be a wish to be fully retired, but I do have plans for another business. Have already have a new corporation started. So just stay tuned. I'm working on something. My husband is like everybody's like, "Oh, she's retired." He's like, "No, she's not retired. She just started another business." So um
No rest for the weary.
and of course we have custom workroom conference. So
Right.
I'll continue to do that. And this
Okay.
is our 10th year. So I'd love to make it to the 15th year.
Oh, congratulations on that. That is amazing that it has come this far, that it's 10 consistent years, except for the pandemic.
I know.
So, but we still count it because you would have done it.
Oh, yeah, we tried.
But I think that as I am already knocking on the door of 70, I have noticed that the people who are older than me that I am acquainted with or friends with, those people who have stayed busy and active are much happier than those people I know whose job ended one day and there was nothing planned or nothing organized, or they didn't have an entrepreneurial spirit or nothing that was a hobby important enough to work harder at. So while you're certainly not retired, you're also beyond contributing.
Mhm.
You're active in our industry and all of that. So I can't wait to see what the next 5 years brings for you. I think it's going to be really fun.
Yeah, I can't wait to share.
And Jonathan, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Jonathan, the youngster among us.
And I'm not that young, let me tell you. Um, I hope that I can get unsprung upholstery and workroom tech sooner than the later to be like working like a Swiss clock. That way, I don't have to do all the running around anymore, and I can sort of point and direct and delegate and teach the classes that I want to teach and help develop all of this even further.
Mhm.
It needs to come to a dull roar because it's been a whole lot going on over the last 6 months, and I'm a little tired, but I knew that was going to be part of it.
Right.
Still making decisions about big stuff and whatever else, but 5 years from now, everything is going to be very set, and everybody's going to be very happy. So, and I'll probably be working until I'm 100 if I make it that far. And I will be late for the funeral because I have to finish a cushion before I arrive. So there's that.
I just had a visual. I'll be there. I'll be there in a couple minutes.
Yep. Pretty much. Y'all just hold tight. I'll be right there.
Well, I, for one, have been thoroughly enjoying watching the process because, I didn't have to load any machines or tables or anything. But watching this legacy move forward and continue is just so wonderful. And Jonathan, I can't wait to see what you do with it. And Susan, I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
Jonathan, I wish you all the luck as you get everything set up. And I love that you are welcoming new teachers in and reaching out to people and being willing to see what people want to learn.
Well, that's how I think it should be. So that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
Okay.
And one question I've been getting is, what about the podcast? People really like the 30 Minutes with Workroom Tech podcast, and they do want to know if this is going to continue or not.
And It is. We are going to continue it. And it'll still be, Susan, it'll still be you and I for a while.
Mhm.
And then as Jonathan gets to get everything into place, then we'll pivot from there. And I can't think of a better word than pivot when we're talking about upholstering sofas and cushions like that. And
Got it. You
if
got
people don't get the Friends reference, then look it up. Well, I'm excited to continue the podcast because I do know how much people learn from it. And I can see from the downloads when people go back and look at things. And yes, the older podcasts will still be there for people to look up. And we'll just keep going.
Yay.
Yay, sounds good to me.
Thank you both so much. I'm really excited to be learning about what's happening, and maybe we'll have to have one other short intermission before this is all completed. Thank you both.
Thank you, Seal. Thanks,
Thank you,
Jonathan.
Theo.
Susan and Jonathan and I hope that you enjoyed this little intermission, and we hope that you love hearing about what's next for Workroom Tech. As in the past, all of this information will be on the blog, on the Workroom Tech blog, and I will put a link in the show notes, but it's workroomtech.com, and the podcast and blog are in the drop-down menu. And if you'd like to keep up to date with all of the things that are going on at Workroom Tech, you can go to workroomtech.com, scroll down to the bottom, and click on Join the Mailing List. I'll put a link in the show notes for you to find it. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you have a great day.